With releases expected in WWE and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. When asked if he and Michael Cole will continue to do commentary on Smackdown for the foreseeable future, Wade Barrett said to the Daily Star, "It's as permanent as you can ever be in a role in WWE. Historically, things have always been switched around and teams have been moved from here to there. And I'm not saying I'm going to be in the Smackdown hot seat for the next 10 years or anything like that, but in terms of the foreseeable, it's going to be me and Michael Cole going forward." Barrett also mentioned the possibility of Pat McAfee returning to commentary. Pat McAfee is always going to be a friend of WWE. He's an incredibly talented guy, and we're all fans of his too, but he has a lot on his plate. I'm sure he'll come in and out from time to time and be involved in various roles, but as far as I'm aware, he's not going to be sat in the SmackDown hot seat for now at least. Staying on the topic of Pat McAfee, the man himself posted this to Twitter last night. "A lot of wrestling chatter about me right now. I think about wrestling every day. That dream isn't done. My business is currently rather active and exigent, plus baby on the way. Timing is everything. I still have massive plans for my journey to the WWE Hall of Fame someday. Believe that." For Figure 4 Online, Lance Storm issued a warning to AEW in regards to the promotion adding another television show to their lineup, as he said, "You have something that's good and you want more of it, and then in a lot of ways by having more of it, you burn it out. When it was just Dynamite, I never missed a show. I didn't miss a single one. As soon as they added Rampage, I started missing Rampage and I started missing Dynamite. Dynamite's ratings did drop after they added Rampage, and if they're gonna add a third show, it's like so much content." During an interview with Wrestle Rant, Kane said this about if his feud with The Undertaker could hold up in today's WWE. "It could still work. It would have to be done differently because Kane would have to talk smack to The Undertaker on Twitter, which would be very strange, but nevertheless it could because it's a timeless story. And ultimately, the story is about two brothers who get along sometimes and don't get along sometimes. The rest is really just bells and whistles. The story was amazing because I think it was mythological storytelling. And you had these characters and they had those stories behind them. Most characters in WWE are that person or are a part of that person, a personality trait, in many cases turned up to an 11. Kane and Undertaker were true characters. They were not just dudes that were, this is me, but I turn my personality up on TV. They were different characters than Mark Calloway and Glenn Jacobs are in real life. Ultimately, I think that was what attracted people to it because everybody can relate to a sibling rivalry, and this was a sibling rivalry just done on an epic scale. With Mandy Rose being released due to her online adult content and having to drop the NXT Women's title, it seems there were main roster title plans for the star. As former WWE writer Dave Schilling revealed, the SmackDown Women's title was supposed to be won by Mandy Rose at this WrestleMania. Instead, we got this famous main event. At no point did Nia Jax figure into this title match, nor did I ever see her again after this night. Hope she's doing well. As Big E recovers from his neck injury, his New Day brethren, Xavier Woods, gave an update when speaking to Review STL. "We're together all the time, constantly doing stuff, but E's doing well. He's traveling, doing a bunch of stuff. He helps out a lot with the NIL program. They do a lot of college recruiting, so going and doing those because he's obviously an incredible story coming out from college into WWE. But he's doing great. He's in good spirits. He has been for a very long time." Speaking of the New Day, Sean Ross Sapp noted this in regards to pitches within WWE to split up the faction. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E aren't splitting up as a unit, even though they're already not together on TV in a lot of ways. Big E has been sidelined with a broken neck, and now Kofi Kingston with an injured ankle, but we're told that even before that, Vince McMahon made repeated attempts to split up the group while he was in charge. Fightful has heard from multiple people who have worked on the WWE creative team that also said that it was made clear dating years back that the trio did not want an on-screen fracture. However, we're told that Vince McMahon himself has pitched the split multiple times. One particular pitch came after a decree from McMahon that Kofi and Xavier not be referred to as New Day without Big E present, which lasted a few weeks. After Xavier Woods won King of the Ring, we're told Vince McMahon pitched a Woods turn on Kofi because it's what a king would do, but Woods specifically fought to not do the turn. With NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez collapsing on television last week, Dave Meltzer explained the situation on Wrestling Observer Live. So here's the deal. JC Jane is out of action with a shoulder injury, okay? And she works the match with Gigi that wasn't very good, so yeah, you can't work a match with certain injury. But with Roxanne, she didn't really faint. That was all fake. She worked a long match with Satomura. And the key to me is she also was training the next day. So if she had something that might be an injury that needed to be looked at, that was well blanketed by Booker T saying that we are logger and things might not be able to get much worse or anything like that. So who knows what they are going to do. I'm still stuck on what creative could have been first when it came to this egg. Taking to social media, former WWE champion Alberto Del Rio uploaded a video of himself training as he appears to be in great shape. With her calling fans on AEW Dynamite a bunch of neckbeard stinky twats, Saraya was fined by the company, as this was noted by Fightful. Saraya's tweet about being fined for her promo is legit, we're told. The proceeds went towards AEW Together projects and had apologized privately. There was a mass email sent out to talent noting that she'd been fined for profanity and using a middle finger without informing the coach of the segment. AEW talent has been discouraged from flipping audience members off and body shaming the crowd. Touching on a feud for Dominik Mysterio at WrestleMania 35 that was canceled, Dave Schilling revealed on Twitter, next match is Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. Joe was supposed to stretcher Dominik in the build. We even got Dom licensed in Maryland so we could bump on Smackdown, but Rey was hurt and it ended up being a heatless squash. While fans were hoping to see Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania 36, it appears that bout could take place down the line. As Sports Illustrated noted, Gunther was another option for Lesnar, but the prevailing belief internally is that Gunther needs another year before conquering a star the caliber of Lesnar. After one more year of further establishing and cementing himself as a ring general, he and Lesnar could have a memorable encounter. When it comes to plans for the Usos at WrestleMania 39, the Wrestling Observer said, when we had asked about Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn headlining night one, since at the time Zayn was the company's hottest babyface character, we were told that there were political reasons in play to where Flair versus Ripley would most likely get that spot. It is not clear that the Usos match will be on night one, but when the original idea was to create a second world title with Rollins, Drew McIntyre, or Rhodes would be in this if The Rock was facing Reigns as the three people considered for it. That was to be the night one main event, but it became the women's match when that idea fell by the wayside. At that point in time, the Usos title defense was scheduled for night one. Touching on where former New Japan star Jay White could end up now that he's a free agent, the Wrestling Observer noted, regarding Jay White, we are told that White has been talking to WWE but has not signed. He is also talking to AEW. From someone familiar with the situation, they described it as 50-50 which side he would go with. Doing the loser leaves town is weird because if he does sign with AEW, he could still work for New Japan, but I guess he wanted to leave New Japan either way rather than come in for major dates, so did the total exit angle before while still talking with both sides. It appears that former WWE star Mercedes Mone could be done with New Japan and becoming a free agent. As the Wrestling Observer newsletter pointed out, as of right now, Mercedes Mone has no dates left with Bushiroad after the April 23rd Yokohama Arena show. Unless that changes, logic would say she would drop the IWGP title to Iwatani at that show. If Mone wins, it would mean she's reached an agreement for a longer deal. With releases seeming to be par for the course in WWE, it looks like more are on the horizon, as WrestlingNews.co reported that we have news on WWE talent and staff expecting releases soon, and at least one person is preparing for life outside of WWE as the company cuts back on expenses. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.